Jimbo's Garage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Jimbo's Garage. Well, it's been a little bit more than a year and a half since I started doing videos, and we have almost 10,000 subscribers. And thank you all so much for your support. I really appreciate it. So I wanted to give you guys a newer version of a garage tour. You're going to see some stuff in here from the original garage tour, and you're going to see a lot of new stuff. And so let's get started. Let me show you what we've got. Starting here with the welding table. The welding table is something that I've had for a long time. It's very handy to have. I've got my electrodes down here that I have my storage for. I've got some metal droppings here, and I've got a lot of power. A lot of power is important. Right over here, I keep my filler metal. I got all kinds of different filler metal up in this area right here. Moving on down over here, this is the lathe table. You guys may have seen my video on the lathe table. I've got my wood lathe right here, and I've got my wood tools right here for working on the wood lathe. And then this is where I store my table saw table. You guys may have seen my video for that. I've had a lot of people ask, where do you store that when you're not using it? Well, it fits perfectly right underneath the lathe table. And this is my Ryobi 14-inch bandsaw. This is a tool that I purchased when I was hesitant purchasing it. I wasn't certain I was going to use it, but when you have something, you definitely get use out of it. It's been a great tool here. Moving along over here, I've got my 60-gallon Craftsman 150 PSI air compressor. Now this air compressor, I've got plumbed throughout my whole shop right here, and I've got plenty of air everywhere. As you'll see later on in this video, I'll show you a couple of different things, but this supplies all the air for that. This is my jet mill. This is actually my father-in-law's. I haven't done anything with this yet. I know it's old school, but I plan on learning a little bit about milling and learning how to operate this. Moving on down, I got my Everlast welding equipment right here. I've got 4 pieces of equipment. The PowerArc 300 ST is the newest version. I've got the Power Plasma 60S, the PowerTig 210 EXT, and the Power iMig 205. Great pieces of welding equipment. I use them all, and it's been good equipment. Here's my metal lathe. This is my 42-inch Atlas metal lathe. I acquired this from my father-in-law. I've restored it since I got it from him. And I've made this little rack right here to accommodate the tools that I need for the metal lathe. I got my 8-inch Ryobi grinder over here and a 4-inch Ryobi buffing wheel on this side over here. I also have my Dewald Mag Drill. Now this has been a really good tool for me. I've used this a lot in the shop. You wouldn't believe how handy this thing is. Of course, I would never be able to afford to purchase this, but I want to thank Dewalt for supplying this right here. It's a great tool. I got my Ryobi planer right here. This is where I store this. This is when I use this. Whatever. This is where I store that. We can edit that out. And this is just my benchtop Ryobi drill press. I know that it's just a benchtop. But you know what? It's perfect for me. I've modified the table on the top right here. This is my Yoast drill press vise. I keep it stored down below. Everything works out perfect for me. The vertical belt sander, this thing is really handy. Been using this for the last 6 months or maybe more, and I've modified this, the table on this, and it works perfectly for what I need it for. I got an air hose reel right here. I talked about having air plumb throughout my whole shop. Now this is just the economy reel I got at Harbor Freight for about 20 bucks. It's only got a 20-foot lead on it, but hey, it's great. It handles everything I need from around this area right here. Okay, over here, this is the other side of my welding table, and you can see this is where I hang my grinders. I've made a rack right here. I have a lot of grinders, and I use this rack right here to hide them, gets them out of the way. It provides for good storage, and that works out really well. My Bosch compound miter saw. This is another tool that I've purchased. I didn't think I was going to get much use out of it, but I use it all the time. It's very handy, and this is the location I have for it. I wish I had more space, but for now, this is what I've got. And then moving on down, I have what I like to call a mini Home Depot, if you will. I've got all kinds of hardware that I use. The smaller hardware over here, nuts, bolts, screws, all small stuff over here. I've got nuts, bolts, screws, washers, anything that you could possibly need there. I've got a lot more storage in these drawers right here. Right here is just a small supply of stuff that I have as well. So I have a lot of hardware that I use in a lot of my projects I've acquired over the years. This right here is wood drops. Now I hang on to a lot of my small pieces of wood drops because I use those for shims, spacers. I use these things a lot, and you'd think they would all be trash, but hey, they come in handy. This here is the Yoast 750 Di. It is an awesome vise, all-around vise. It's got a lot of features and functions to it. This is the best thing. I really enjoy this right here. This thing is pretty cool. Moving along, my welding table right here. You can see this is a rack for my clamps. It's just simple 1/2-inch round tubing that I've welded between here, but this provides a perfect storage for my clamps. Pretty awesome. Works out really well. This is my metal cutoff saw. I've got some storage. I just try to get as organized as I possibly can with everything I have, because I only have about 900 square feet right here. I know that sounds like a lot, but I have a lot of stuff, and I try to keep everything as organized as I possibly can. Good storage underneath here for this. More storage underneath here for miscellaneous tools. This is my woodworking table. This is where I do a lot of woodworking from. My welding table, obviously the welding, and this is where I do a lot of work for my woodworking. Big area, provides a lot of space. And then of course the bathroom. Everybody's got to have a bathroom or shop. Pretty handy to have. And then I also have a 9-speaker surround sound system in here that's attached to my big screen TV. It actually sounds like a theater in here when I crank this up. It's awesome. It's really good. And of course the refrigerator. Got to have a refrigerator. More miscellaneous storage over here. This here is my wife and I's office for our business. Her office on this side, my office on this side. Moving over here, this is my paint rack. I've get a lot of people ask me about my paint rack. Well, it's a very simple thing, but it's again very well organized, and I keep everything as organized as I possibly can. Over here on this shelf right here are my hand tools, miscellaneous nail guns, staple guns, sanders, all kinds of things that I have in cases. I keep that stuff up here. And then this is my toolbox, my Husky toolbox. Very well organized, a big box, handles everything that I have. This thing gets plenty of use. Moving on down right here, this is my storage unit, my storage access for my metal droppings. Now there's a lot of small things right here, a lot of small pieces of metal, but again, very handy to have. Every time you do something, you're always looking for that small piece. I have a lot of everything here, use it all the time. The Dewalt Table Saw, when I'm not using it, this is where I keep it. Pretty handy, it's easy to access, pretty cool. This here is my Cox air reel. This right here has a 50-foot hose on it and goes just about anywhere in the shop. Very handy. Again, air is always handy to have around the shop. And then we're down to the can crusher. I've done a video on this can crusher. This is a pretty cool topic around here. Everybody that comes into my shop always is impressed with this can crusher. I don't know if you guys haven't seen it. I'll show you how it works. Basically, you just stick a can in here, down, it smashes it and throws it into the bucket down below. Okay, so there you go. I'm glad I had this opportunity to share my shop with you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe for more videos.
See you next time on Jimbo's Garage.